G'day guys and welcome back to the JFBS SuperCoach channel. And today we're going to go through what your end game or end of season defenders want to be in AFL SuperCoach. So basically I'll be doing this for defenders like today. Midfielders, rucks, not really. I won't do one on rucks, but forwards I will as well. Kind of getting a gauge of what you kind of want as your back six and then your D7 as well, because in case one of these guys get injured or matchups or anything like easier teams to play, or based on how bad their form is in the past, kind of want a D7 there. So we're going to have a look at a few guys that I think will definitely be point of discussion. And there's a lot of different options you can go with the back line, the defenders. So we can go for them. We can talk about the main ones. I think Nazai Wanganeen-Malira is the main guy that you would kind of want by the end of the season. I think he will average the most in the defenders and probably by a hefty chunk. I reckon Lockie Whitfield will be also decent. Obviously Jack Sinclair, but the thing with Sinclair is I probably wouldn't start him. His floor last year would be around the 60s, but he could easily get to 140. So was this last year? Yeah. So he had a 3-week stint of 70, 99, and 83, which he was at 605 and then went down to 533. At 124, he still went down 4K. And then again, he goes 65, 89, 72, gets down to 497K and 483K, which is like, when you think about it, he will go on these little stretches where he doesn't play well. And I don't know if that's I don't know how that happens for him. So that's why I reckon we don't go with Sinclair at the start. But at the end of season, you do want him there. We can talk about Lockie Ash. Now, I'll have a look at, I've been looking at, what's it called? Can I go back to, can I choose the team on here? Okay. What I'm trying to say is that Whitfield and Ash, 110 and 107 for being the two guys that are down back the most. It's pretty decent. Shoot. Where am I trying to go? Sorry, this is go kick-ins for GWS, because I think they share it quite a bit. Yeah, so Lockie Whitfield and Ash are basically the only ones. And at the start of the year, I mean, it's 128 kick-ins and 116 kick-ins. I don't know what is that possessions. They only got like 11 possessions out of it, or I don't know. But yeah, these two guys are going to be really key when it comes to, kick-ins. Who's going to take more? It's going to be Lockie Whitfield by the seams of it. But we know how Lockie Ash broke out last year, and he was just run and gun, basically. Only 5% of people have him, which is really interesting. I would rather go with Lockie Whitfield because I think he's more reliable in the sense that he's done this for years, where he can average 110. You have one off game, in every 10 games. He had an 82 there, 84 as well, but then this 16 he got, I think it was concussed. Yeah, he got concussed and missed out on the West Coast game by a day, which really pissed me off because I had him at the time. But yeah, Lockie Whitfield is, in my opinion, the better version, the more safer option than Ash. And Wanganeen-Malira is definitely the safer option than Sinclair to start them. It's fine if you want to go a bit of a pod play and go with Sinclair, but you've just got to remember that he will have like a 3-week rough patch, 2 weeks, 1 week. And that's where his price can take a bit. We saw, like I said, at 480K. Another kind of lock that you kind of want in your defenders there is Connor Rozee. Definitely, he moved, was it 4 or 5 games into the season back into the defensive 50, and I think it was Josh Carr's idea of putting him there, and Hinkley was like, "Yep, let's do that," and he stayed ever since, and he still is there. And apparently, they might play him, just run him through the midfield, but we can have a look at Connor Rozee just in general with just his stats, especially with the back end of like uh, so halfback, centre halfback. Yeah, a 105. Yeah, halfback flank. Sorry, I wrote that as halfback forward. I'm like, what? Centre halfback. Centre halfback. Um, yeah, it really changed. Not round 4, round 6 against Sydney, and he played 3 games towards the later end of the year. We can have a look at times that he played in the midfield. Now, this I know says he was. What am I trying to say? Half forward. He played half forward. That's really weird. Wing mid. Yeah. Oh, well, he averaged 109. So 109, 109, 105. This is going to be dumb and a slower way of doing it. But yeah, a 105 average just in general. Um, God, what am I trying to say? I'll fix this. This pisses me off. A lot of clicking. But yeah, he's going to be super reliable. That Port Adelaide depth isn't that great, so he's obviously got easily going to have a spot from half back. If not, he'll be in the middle. They'll switch around with him, which I think is good. You're going to think, wow, how obvious that the top 6 guys who are all averaging the most are in your side. Well, Jordan Clark, in my opinion, is once again a very reliable guy. But I've got a feeling that he might drop off in averages. I don't know why, but I just have like a gut feeling that he will. Remember when Luke Ryan was the guy to go for like 2 years ago? He had a score of 198. Is this career stats? No, season. Yeah, 25, 66, 80, 95, 81. If we go kick-ins for Fremantle here, Luke Ryan and Jordan Clark. Luke Ryan had more, which is really funny. So that's where he's getting all of his possessions. But Jordan Clark, I feel he might get more potentially. I might be wrong in saying that, but he could get more. He's elite by foot. He actually moves up to the contest, which is good. And that's where I think Ryan kind of lacks. He's in that. He's obviously the last man of defence guy, but Jordan Clark gets up at the ground a little bit. Not like, into the midfield, but, he'll hang around back and get a handball receive or a kick. So I think Clark is a good option because he's just reliable there. But I do have a little fear that he might drop off a bit. I don't know why. Maybe because of the emergence of Judd McPhee as well. Excuse me. But we'll see there. So those are like your main 6. Now, obviously, it's not really helpful when round 4, I think it's round 3 or 4, St Kilda and GWS have the same bye. So you can't have 2 of these guys at the start, which is fine. So you've got to really choose one of 4 of these guys. I think currently I've got Lachie Whitfield, just because I'm doing it because I want it to be, he's the cheaper, like straight by 20K. Yeah, he's the one guy I've got out of those 4. And then I do have Rozee and Clark. But yeah, like I said, or what I was saying is that it's going to be annoying. I think it's fine to choose one of them. 2 is a bit excessive, but at the same time, if you're going to go 2 of Naz, Sinclair, Whitfield, and Ash, I think you need to remember that it's, best 18 during the bye rounds. Even if when these guys are playing, like it's still best 18, which means, like, for example, a Rozee and Clark might still be playing for you. The Kirchers might still play for you. and all those rookies, and then you still got your primos there. You just like it's going to be annoying because there's a lot of St Kilda guys that you'd want, like Philippou, like Flanders down at the forward line, and a couple of other guys that I'm thinking of. But that's what I'm trying to get at is that I don't think they'll be too bad of an options, but you just got to put that into perspective as well. So for your bench, who's like your D6? Because obviously these are your main six here that you'd want. Laird, I feel like his floor has gone down quite a bit, which is a bit unfortunate. Zorko, I think everyone we can all agree that he's not going to be what he was last year. And I mean, we keep saying this every year. He had a 102 average. He has games where he had, I think, a 60. And that's when, like, I'll never forget my mate got him at, like, after round 3 or something like that. Then he went 94, 82, 70, 104, 95, or something like this. He got him at a pretty hefty price, and he still stayed around 462K because of his on and off form towards the end of the season. And if we look at Brisbane guys, there's just so many mouths to feed down there. So I don't know if they're going to be playing Fletcher up more towards the middle. You got Wilmot as well, who've been the other two guys that have been coming off half back, who've been really doing well in their positions there. Interested that 5% of people got Fletcher. But there's a little bit of uncertainty on my end of how Brisbane wants to do it because you've also got Caden Coleman as well. So I think definitely Zorko, it's going to be his last year. They're going to make a one last year finals push, grand final push, get his three-peat, end his career on a high, kind of like Joe Danaher did in that first year. So it'll be a lot easier to make a decision on Brisbane halfbackers next year. Bailey Dale, I had him most of last year, and with a 102 average, with those guys who are averaging around 100, you say that he's done fine most of the year. It's just Zorko, Dale, Laird do have some pretty low floors, which is annoying, but their ceilings are so high. Going to be the same with Blakey, but I think Blakey takes up a notch this year. And same with Callum Mills. That's why I was looking at Ollie Florent if he was playing down back, but I think it's just too many guys at Sydney. So they're going to move guys around, I reckon. Get Robertson to the wing or something like that, or Mills or Blakey into the action a bit more. Noble, I just don't know how to feel about it, I'll be honest. Dacos. Now, I've seen a lot of people like on Twitter as well put them in their side. As far as I'm concerned, he might be playing a bit of midfield. I don't really want to know his personal life. Can have a look at Dacos here. Come on, load. Because he played halfback. Back. Oh, he started on the interchange. Then he played one game at midfield. If we have a look at his heat map in rounds, we had 100. I would say, predominantly midfield or halfback, really. Anyways, what am I trying to say? Look, his back end of his year was an average of 80, which is not really nice. And that's him playing centre halfback. And if they push him up to the midfield, I reckon that's fine. It's a bit of a pod play. Everyone should have like a guy that's going to be just a little bit different to the next guy to your right. And I think Josh Dacos is a guy that could be like that. But look, I'd probably rather Blakey, Dale, or Zorko, and you're paying 20 to 30K difference just because you've got a more solidified role there. with those three and Laird. Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned Laird, Blakey. Maybe not Zorko, but Mills as well. I probably prefer. Just don't know. But I think that's really it for defenders, except for one or two more guys that I will talk about. 1% have got Worrell. Fletcher's 5%. I don't know. If you go on end game, I think these are the six that you want. So if he's your D7 and that's by cash choice, then that's probably not the worst option. Is there anyone else? Yeah. So these are the last two I'll go over. Is McKercher and Bergman. So I've got McKercher as my starting in my starting team at the moment. I didn't have him for a little bit because I was a bit scared of the whole midfield thing and how clogged that midfield lineup is going to be. But after thinking about it, it is just preseason, and I did hear somewhere that it's just an experiment. They're just training with the mids just for a little bit of fun. I don't know if it's fun or not. And then Bergman as well. He's obviously going up to midfield, 82 here. We can have a look at his DFS profile and see where he played predominantly. So he didn't play the back end of last year. He had an average of 86. Let's have a look at when he played half back. That's midfield, back pocket. So he had a 79 average. I don't know where I read 73 when he was playing in defence. And then if we go with midfield, and 86, and he averaged 82. Where does 86 get you? About 460k. So what, making 20k just off the bat there. And then if we look at centre bounce appearances, yeah, look. Oh, he had a 60 there and 82. If he gets high enough, let's say just above 60, I did go over this in a video before, a 108. So if he can get above 50, 60% CVAs, his average will go up, definitely. And if it's at 109, then that's beautiful. You've just banked, he'll be priced at around 590k and you got him for 440. Just really nice. McKercher as well, we know how he is, but I think that's going to do it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if I missed out on any other defenders. I'll just have a little quick scroll before. Because I'll be honest, I think I'll explain this in probably another video, but I think this is the year that you kind of want to go guns and rookies. I don't know. This is my opinion. Just because all the mid-price guys, I'm very uncertain. I know you probably want to have one mid-price guy for each area. That's why technically McKercher will count as a mid-pricer, but I view him as a primo for end of year. But I'll have Caden Coleman here. I've got Young and Parrish, and then I've got Flanders who will turn into a primo, and then that's about it. So I've got like two guys. Two guys, Coleman and what's his face, Parrish, that probably won't be in the team by the end of the year. But yeah, just view it like that. Anyways, thanks for tuning in again. Hope you guys have a good one. Check out the mids one that will come out soon and the forwards one. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.